Welcome to the lecture on taking notes in class. This lecture will talk about why we need to take notes, and it will also demonstrate how to use the question in the margin system for taking notes. Your primary job as a college student is to process information. You want to take information from lectures and make that information yours. You want to grasp what you read and process it so that you own it. Otherwise, you would spend a great deal of time going to class and even more time reading, yet benefit little in the long run. You need to know that short-term memory can hold only 5 to 7 bits of information at a time. This means that you can understand everything said in class, but will remember very little if you don't take notes. You know you need to take notes, but you're not sure how to record the information that is important. The following slides will help you process information from lectures so that you are in control of that information. Although you can't control the amount of information in a lecture or the form in which it is presented, you can control what you write down and how you write it down. Taking notes gives you a record of what the teacher said, so you can study that information after class. It also helps you to learn the material as you write it. Taking notes makes you pay attention in class and keeps your mind from wandering. It also forces you to select the main ideas because you can't write down everything that is said. Taking notes gives you information to use later when studying for tests and doing homework. The question in the margin system for taking notes is based on the note-taking system developed at Cornell University in the 1950s. This system may take some getting used to, but in the long run you will find that it saves you energy and time. Note-taking is a skill, and as with all new skills, it takes practice. The more you use it, the better you become at it. The following slides will show you the steps to using the Cornell question in the margin note-taking system. The first step is to set up your paper. Take a piece of loose-leaf notebook paper and divide the paper into 3 sections. Draw a horizontal line about 5 or 6 inches from the bottom to create a summary space at the bottom of the page. Next, you will draw a vertical line about 2 inches from the left side of the paper, from the top to the bottom of the page. The right-hand column will be much larger than the left-hand column, just as demonstrated in this diagram. The next step is to label your page. At the top of the paper, write the course name, the date, and the topic at the top of each page. This is so that if your pages get out of order, you'll be able to find where it goes in your notes. Now that you have your paper set up, you can use it to take notes. The large box to the right is for writing notes that you hear in class. Skip a line between ideas and topics, and don't use complete sentences. You can try using abbreviations whenever possible. You won't be able to write down everything the teacher says word for word, but just do your best to capture the main ideas. After you've taken notes, it is important to go back and review and clarify what you have written. You should review your notes as soon as possible after class. Pull out the main ideas, key points, dates, and facts, and write these in the left-hand column. This is where you might want to use color coding to underline the item on the left and then underline the corresponding item on the right. The last step is to write a summary. This is where you'll use the bottom half of your page to condense main ideas in your own words at the end of each section or each day's notes. Write a short. A few tips for taking notes using the question in the margin note-taking system. Don't try to write in full sentences. Write only the few words you need to help you remember what was said in class. There's no way you'll be able to write down everything the instructor says, so just try to jot down the key concepts and terminology. Write your class notes on the wide right-hand side of the page, and as soon as you can after class, use the left margin to identify what each section of notes is about by writing a question or label. You can also use the bottom of the page for reminders. Later on, when you are studying your notes, you'll want to reread your notes in the right column. Spend most of your time studying the ideas in the left column and the summary at the bottom. These are the most important ideas and will probably include most of the information that you will be tested on later. A couple more tips on taking notes in class. Be prepared for the lecture by reading the previous lecture notes and the assigned readings for the lecture before you go to class so that you will understand what the instructor is talking about and you'll have some questions ready during class. Try to sit close to the instructor so that you can clearly see the whiteboard or the screen. And when you catch yourself spacing out or not paying attention, change your position or look more closely at the teacher. A lot of you might be wondering what is important during the lecture. Well, believe it or not, teachers send messages about the most important parts of their lectures by sending verbal, nonverbal, and body language cues. Verbal cues are keywords like important, remember, and phrases like primary causes of. Listen for these words and write down the key points. Also listen for lists, like the first characteristic is, etc., and write down all items that are listed. Nonverbal cues are when the instructor places emphasis on words and phrases by talking louder, drawing outwards, or by pausing. Whenever a teacher pauses, it is usually to allow students to write down ideas. Body language can also serve as a cue, such as the teacher leaning forward, using hand motions such as pointing, or changes in the facial expression to indicate important information. The more time you spend with your instructor, the more you'll be able to recognize these cues. This concludes our lecture on taking notes in class using the Cornell question in the margin system.